Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And folks, please mind a little bit of a rasp in my voice. In case any of y'all didn't see it earlier on my whole Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash was in the hospital earlier. Not hospitalized, but just there, had to get looked at. Said that I got a bad case of bronchitis. That's all. Ain't nothing gonna stop me from being able to do this for you. Not even a damn bug. So, on with this week's show. The go-home show for Elimination Chamber. Coming up. Not gonna lie, haven't really been looking forward to the actual show of the Elimination Chamber. Really, the only part of that show I'm looking forward to is seeing Kevin Owens versus John Cena, just because I am dying to see if the crowd is going to wind up doing a kill Owens chant. You know, because they freaking did that when he wound up going against Riley in Cincinnati, which, oh god, that was so beautiful. But yeah. Enough with the past, on to the present. This Raw was in Long Island, Nassau Coliseum, the last Raw that would be in the Coliseum. So, it is sad to hear when those times go, because I still remember last visit to Veterans Stadiums, and that meant a lot to me. But on with this week's show. Raw started out, Authority came down, Seth talked about on how Dean forced Steph and Tripp to give Dean a title match. And Seth wound up saying, could remove the idea of having that match, or even possibly firing him. The options have been on the table. But we're not gonna. Because you see, Dean, you're nowhere near my level. You're not a threat to me. I'll take you out, no problem. Basically like that. Dean comes out. Next thing you know, yeah. So, Kane, why do you keep wearing that cheap suit? Why don't you just go and get a ball gag and a dog collar and go and get some cornstarch and put on a gimp suit? Or something like that, I don't know. Although, personally, I prefer baby powder. Okay, that's enough about that. Moving on now, shall we? It was basic back and forth, tit for tat kind of stuff. And then they said, you want this match, you gotta step in this ring and sign the contract. So, he said, Dean just looks like, so I just gotta waltz on down there, into that ring, sign the contract, and you'll give me the match? Okay. So, he went to go down and do it, and just as he got there, and it looked like that he was going to get swarmed on like a pack of dogs, boom, Roman's music hit. Roman came down and just looked like, what's up, brother? How you doing? So, got that. It's good showing that they're having like a good little, road trip buddy kind of friendship going. Not like the brotherhood kind of partnership that they had with the Shield, but more like a, hey, thanks for helping me out, man, kind of deal, especially if they could play this right, maybe, emphasis on maybe, within the next month or two, we could possibly even see a little feud go between them two for wanting a shot at the title, have it be like Roman's still hungry and wanting to fight and wanting to show that he earned that title spot at Mania and wants that shot again. Dean saying, I got all this shit thrown at me before, they wouldn't let me get the job done. I can do it. And have them to go at each other, and the winner get to be the contender. You know, something like that. But I honestly, I really do think that could work for them, because it again, it plays into the whole idea. Nobody really fights like family, and you know, everyone still, the fans still act like that they are really family and brothers, which, hey, that can work for them, you know. Excuse me. Yeah, but moving along. Roman came down. Next thing you know, they wind up making a match. Roman and Ambrose versus Seth and Kane. And that match started up. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I missed the first half of that match because I was busy taking care of my son. More so to the point, my son was taking care of me. You know, ever since he found out dear old daddy was sick, he's been basically like a little doctor on me 24/7, you know. And God bless that boy to help him take care of his old man the way he is. Did catch from the time they came back from the commercial then on, and from what I saw, it was a good match. It was a good match. I kind of dug it. I mean, it was what it was. There wasn't anything special to it. Nothing special to it. No story. No nothing really. I mean, but other than that, yeah, it was a pretty decent. I mean, Dean wound up getting a win with a backslide, and it was pretty nice, and it was real nicely done. You know, you don't see that done pretty crisp nowadays on TV, but it was, and I dug the hell out of that. You know, and the fact that Dean won, you know, he got the winning pin on Seth, which, you know, what does that tell you? Who's going to win on that match in the pay-per-view? Yeah. So, moving on to the next match, we go to Rusev versus R-Truth. Now, they're bringing Rusev out, saying that ditching the whole Russian bit altogether now. Going back to his Bulgarian roots. Which, you know, okay, that's good. Good. He's saying that he's mad because his girlfriend broke up with him, and now he's like, you know what, I'm not doing that shit that I was doing with you now. I'm doing my way now. Okay. But you have him go up against R-Truth. So now, is Rusev going back to his attacking every black guy on the roster gimmick? I mean, seriously, I'm not asking for me. I'm more so asking just out of sheer curiosity, because if that really is the case, you know, the New Day's really going to want to look out for him. You know? But this, honestly, it was a squash match, and do I even really need to explain on who would win? It was Rusev, obviously. He did. After that, he cut a promo on Lana. Cut a promo demanding for Lana to come down, saying, Lana, I'm sorry. Lana, you know, or not saying sorry, Lana, come back. We can get all this. We can settle all this. Everything will be fine. All you have to do is just say 3 simple words. And no, those 3 words are not, I want cake, or is there coffee, or anything along those lines. Oh, no, no, no. Rusev wanted Lana to say the 3 words that are not, I repeat, not in any woman's vocabulary whatsoever. He wanted Lana to say, I was wrong. No woman ever admits that they're wrong. You know, it's like written in their genetic code. They cannot admit that they were wrong. In fact, they give us the furrow. In fact, there are women that will give a guy a furrow brow to wear like that when they know they're wrong, to the point to where a guy will wind up feeling like they're wrong and just be like, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. You forgive me? Yeah. Yeah, it'll be basically. But after that, she just looked, she's like, "Oh no, you didn't," and then just walked off. So yeah, next matchup after that, it was Barrett versus Ryroyd. Oh joy! And there's now they were saying they were hyping up at the fact that Ryroyd's ribs are still bandaged up from his match with Bray at Payback. Okay, that's good. You want to have him go with a prolonged injury. Okay, not a problem. You had D'Lo Brown do the chest plate thing. But for the love of God, don't have the man go and do a body splash as a regular. Don't have him go and do a body splash and then go and say, oh, right before that, you're going on saying he has injured ribs. For crying out loud, I had cracked, not broken, but cracked ribs. And I went and I did a body splash like that, and it felt like I got hit by a frickin' semi. It's little things you need to do. It's the little things that help accentuate the bigger things. And the bigger things are what get the people to pay attention. It's simple. Really. It's all it really is. But yeah, this was very much so a physical match, wasn't like obviously wasn't expecting to see a whole lot of traditional wrestling moves or holds. Barrett's style's far from it, and Ryroyd, well, yeah, the less said about that piece of shit, the better. I got a hatred for him that's like that. That burns like 1,000 suns. But yeah, Ryroyd wound up getting the winds of change thrown at him, which I give Barrett credit for more than anything because of the fact he picked him up, had him on his shoulders like that, and then just wham, throw him down like that. That takes serious, and I mean serious, body strength. And it takes serious back and leg strength to be able to hold that much weight up on your shoulders. Next thing you know, well, to sum it up, Ryroyd got the win with the shell shock. He got the 1-2-3, so moving along, we had Stardust versus Neville. Now, probably one of the cooler things with this match was before the match even started, when Stardust came down and did his little walking along the security rail thing, he went over to the one person that was sitting in the crowd who was actually the actor in the show Arrow that plays Ollie. Oliver Quinn. Ollie, and egging him on because they kind of have a little Twitter thing going. But it was cool to see that because it wasn't just like that they were making that just an online thing. No, they were actually stretching it out into the real world on that. Which is cool. Excuse me. But Stardust versus Neville. Yeah, it was pretty good. I dug it, I mean, it wasn't anything to write home on exactly, but it was... it was fairly solid. I know a lot of people are crapping on Neville, saying that he's overhyped and this and that. But dude, here's the thing. Okay, there are people that had come up from NXT before Neville, but Neville is the guy that's making the NXT wrestlers get noticed. Because, okay, not making a knock towards Seth or Kalisto or any of the other guys that were in NXT before they got the call up. But with Neville, he's got the longest reigning title hold for the NXT title. So he is, he's in the record books for that. But the fact of the matter is, Neville wound up, constantly putting on such amazing matches in NXT. That's why the crowds just automatically see him. They're like, oh, damn, he's doing just like from NXT. Yeah. That's what it is. Yep, he still had his one knee bandaged up. So, Stardust was working on that one for a bit, and Bo was ringside, which I absolutely freaking love because, now they're bringing up they're relighting an old feud from Bo Dallas and Neville from the first NXT live show where Neville won the NXT title off of Bo, which was absolutely great, I dug it. I loved it. Yeah, that was great. And but Neville wound up getting the win in his match against Stardust. He hit the red arrow. One thing did notice beforehand, small little minute thing, and it's like I said earlier, the little things make the big things, and the big things are what draw people. When Neville climbed out of the ropes and was on the apron, he was going over to his knee and slapping and punching it. From first-hand experience between knee, shoulder, hand, arm, whatever. Doing that, it's an old fighting trick because it's numb and you're trying to get feeling and circulation back in there. So I'm hoping, to me, that's saying that knee injury is legit, but I am hoping, and I mean hoping, to no utter end, that it's not. But he did the red arrow, got the 1, 2, 3. After that, Bo wound up coming in, and then, hey buddy, you did a great match, and all you had to do was believe, kind of bit, and then took down Neville, chop blocked him in that leg, and then proceeded to go and do a victory lap around the ring, which, that was pretty funny. Pretty funny, pretty cool to see. So next matchup, we had Ziggler versus Sheamus again. Now, got no problem seeing people do the same match, seeing the same guys competing, week after week after week, as long as they're given good matches, like Ziggler, Sheamus, with this match on Raw was just as good and solid as their pay-per-view matches that they had, whether it was the one at Extreme Rules or the one at Payback. It was just as good. So I have no problem with it. I had no problem with it. It was just as good, just as stellar and physical, in my opinion anyhow, as those. And I definitely dug the living hell out of it. Especially now that with Ziggler apparently now starting to run around with Lana, it can add a whole new dimension to it, because it could have Sheamus, who's, constantly saying, where are all the real men at? Get Rusev and be like, dude, you're letting that little 5'9" vanilla spot monkey go and steal your girl. Go and be a real man. Get her back. Pull out that kind of shit. And yes, I did. No, I was not making an insult to Ziggler saying that he was a vanilla spot monkey, because he's not. I was just saying that just because, like normal, and just like with the concept of the show, it's a shoot, and I'm not gonna think about what it is I'm saying beforehand. you know? But, yeah, match came to an end. Sheamus, brogue kick right onto Ziggler, got the 1-2-3 after that, went away, went exit stage left, and then next thing you know, Rusev came down and then wham, locked in the accolade onto Ziggler right in front of Lana and said, "Go ahead, kiss him now, kiss him now," kind of shit, you know, which, like I said, it's adding an extra layer and a dimension to it. So now we're up to John Cena doing the US Open Challenge. Before he did the match, he did his normal hype up for a match coming up, talking about with Owens, saying that for the first time ever, instead of hearing "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," we're gonna wind up hearing "Fight Owen, let's go Cena, fight Owens, fight. Let's go Cena, fight Owens, fight." Me personally, I just want to hear "Kill Owens, kill." Like I said, I want to hear "Kill Owens, kill" more than anything. Yep. And dude, it's I've said this before and I will say it again. Think about this. Yeah, Kevin Owens wrestling in WWE right now. You got Jimmy Jacobs working in WWE Creative. All WWE has to do now is hire Steve Corino, and then next thing you know, Scum will take over WWE, and then evil will once again live. Think about that. But yeah, Cena issued the US Open Challenge. Zack Ryder came out. Not obvious. Really, it's not that big of an obvious shocker, you know, considering that, one, it's Long Island and Ryder's the most over guy for that area, really. And also, really, who else were they going to toss to the Wolves? Who else was going to get tossed to the Wolves, given our options? Excuse me. It was good. It was solid. I mean, it was what it was. It was obvious Ryder was going to do the job, but Cena made Ryder look good, which, you know, is needed. You know, anytime you're ever going to wind up having somebody do the job for you, you should always have them make you look good. You know, have the guy that's doing the job, make the guy that's doing the job look good. You know, say, okay, I'm going to have to beat you, but I want you to make it look like I had to fight to be able to beat you. Because that's what you need if you want to do a proper job. You know, you don't just go in there, dominate 99.9%, and then go and do like one or two show-offs like, yeah, and then turn around and go and get the shit kicked out of you right after a taunt. No. But yeah, it's Ryder wound up hitting the kill switch, which I marked out for. It was cool to see. You know, don't know if Christian watched or not. Hope he saw that and was like, hey, that's pretty decent. Also, Ryder did a 450, which, hey, I ain't never seen him do that. If he did when he was doing the Major Brothers bit, okay, that's cool, but I ain't never seen it. But match came to an end when he did the 450. He missed, got right up. Cena picked him up. Boom. AA got the 1-2-3. Okay, it's obvious. But the point of this, with the U.S. Opens, he's putting other guys over doing it. So while as much as I give him a whole ton of shit for what he does, and let's face facts, I do, I am digging the hell out of this because he is putting guys over. And right after that, and he did the whole arm up, pointing to him thing, ring was clear. Owens, right out of nowhere, wham, decks him, tosses him in the ring, pop-up powerbomb again, and then, wham, just treads on the U.S. title and holds his up, which, oh my God, that was so cool. And it's not even like a knock on the country for the U.S., because I know some people might think that because Owens is Canadian. That's not the case. What he's saying is, hey, that's your title? No. Hey, that's your title? That's all well and cool. Well, you know what? Wham! Step on it. Fuck you. My title's better. I'm the champ right here. The champ is not there. The champ is right here. You know? That's on what that says. Which is, yeah. Sorry. Got so worked up doing that. Next matchup, it was women's match, Paige versus Tamina. Now, they wound up talking about at the Elimination Chamber they're going to have a triple threat with the Bellas versus Nav, Nikki versus Paige versus Naomi. Okay, but here's my food for thought. Why not have a women's Elimination Chamber match? I mean, you had a segment earlier with several girls, you know, and those guys from that show Entourage. Fuck if I know, I didn't watch it. I was always a Sons of Anarchy guy. But what it did an entire segment with like 6 or 7 girls, but you're putting the same like 4 or 5, the same like 3 or 4 in front of my TV every week. Fuck. Seriously, what the fuck? You know? But yeah, I'm just saying it could help. It could. It's an idea. It could work. You know? Yeah, it's as far as with this match though goes, Tamina, she looked pretty mad, which is, yeah, kind of saying something because she always looks mad. And yeah, also we had the Bellas on commentary, which, oh, for the love of God. Seriously, they sound about as monotone as one of those phone sex operators. Oh, yes. Yes, I so love this. Yes, 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 yes. You know, yeah. But Tamina wound up getting a win, surprisingly, not from having a super kick party, but from doing a Samoan drop. She did the Samoan drop on Paige after Naomi came around and decked her, you know. Paige was hanging off the ropes. Next thing you know, Naomi, wham, decked her. Tamina picks her up, and wham, Simone drops her. So, next thing you know, gets the 1, 2, 3. So she wins that. Okay. And you know, I'm good with Tamina being it. I'm good with Tamina having this kind of a run and this kind of a character for her. Because it suits her in a sense. Because, you know, she's got that big, mean, arg build and that kind of attitude, not attitude, but, you know, kind of figure, which, you know, you see that kind of a chick, you're like, okay, I don't want to piss her off, you know? Next up we get New Day coming out talking about on how, you know, doing Heel 101, insulting town, you know, insult the Coliseum, talk about on how, you know, it's getting torn down, this, that, and the other, and then saying on how it's a tragedy that they're being forced to defend their titles, and then Kane comes out and says, well, guys, you say the odds are stacked against you, but you have a 1 in 6 chance of winning, which are the same odds as anyone else in there. So your odds are pretty fair. But they're not going to be fair for you in this match coming up, which is The New Day versus the Ascension, the Lucha Dragons, Los Matadors, Primetime Players, and Tyson Kidd and Cesaro in a 10-on-3 handicap match, which my very first thought was, there's a 10-on-3 handicap match. Okay, somewhere out there, Teddy Long just heard that and was like, and then Teddy Long proceeded to have to change his underwear because, he was just like, oh my god, it's a 10-on-3 handicap tag team match, players! Yeah. As far as with it being an actual tag match goes, there was about enough in-ring action for like maybe 5-10 minutes, and then next thing you know, everyone just stormed into the ring and then a ref called it. Next thing you know, everyone goes and starts swinging at each other, clear the ring. At the end, New Day standing, and they say that the match was tossed as a DQ and New Day won. So I'm as far as with the tag team elimination chamber match, my money's on Primetime Players winning, considering all of the vignettes that they've been doing over the past couple weeks. It wouldn't make sense to toss them out, to have them get eliminated. Anyways, moving on. Last segment of the night, it was for the signing that contract. Now, beforehand, they had Ambrose getting interviewed, and then J&J egging him on. He went, took them out, and then next thing you know, swung at a cameraman without seeing, which, hey, been in plenty of fist fights. I've done that plenty of times. Somebody put their hand on my shoulder, not even thinking, just going off of instinct. Wham! Like that. Done that. Can't argue on it. But what they said, they wound up showing, which case, folks, once again, the glorious work of your YouTube Messiah showed itself with footage showing Seth pushed said cameraman into Ambrose, which is what made Ambrose attack that cameraman. Next thing you know, they wind up authorities down in the ring with Seth. Excuse me. They go down, they say, okay, even if that stuff is real, which it's not, he's not here to sign it. So what are you going to do? What are we going to do? Looks like Seth doesn't have an opponent for the pay-per-view now. And then Roman's music hits and he goes out and he's like, alright. And then he proceeds to start going to town on them. And then clears the ring. Next thing you know, hear police sirens, and then Dean Ambrose comes out, driving a police SWAT car, wearing an officer's cap with 2 nightsticks. Next thing you know, goes in there, wham, clears house, and just after that, him and Roman are standing in the ring, and Roman just hands him the little clipboard with the contract, like, hey, sign that. He's like, alright. Yeah. And then they sign it. After that, now it's all said and done. So now it's official. So that was the show. Like I said, it was good. It's good seeing Roman and Dean with this buddy-buddy friendship right now. Looking to see a feud between them two sometime down the road, hopefully soon. That's all the time for this week's show, folks. So, do not forget, like normal, to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Make sure y'all also look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. I'm also out there on that Facebook gimmick with my name, Tim Ash. Also, do not forget to follow all of these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. The lovely Miss Vicky Earls. I am Danny Sunday, Monkey Morse, Axel Mulligan. Make sure y'all check out Darren. Yes, I did say Darren. So, don't get confused by the Twitter handle. Darren Dyer's show, The SmackDown Breakdown. And brother, I am gonna gun for that POS that took you out. I'm gonna gun for him just cause ain't no one going to hurt any of the good brothers while I'm on watch. Sunday Segue, Simply Sabrina, Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, Ava Ben, Just a Stupid Mark. Do not forget that also, folks, check out Ollie Ben's and Mask Mark's War Paint and Mask show, where we finally settle our bitter feud once and for all. As well as my client, who, as I've said before and will always say, is the true Raw General Manager, Bronx Bitch forever. And, folks, like I always tell ya, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.